Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to a midweek previewing Champions League and Championship games coming up. So let's get straight into Champions League action for the English clubs. Sporting taking on Tottenham in Portugal. And this is an interesting game because Sporting, they started off the season really well, had a great start to their campaign last time out with a 3-0 win against Frankfurt. So it won't be an easy game against Tottenham, but they'll come into this one off the back of a really good win against Marseille, and they'll be looking to carry on confidence in that one. I think they will have too much quality for that. I'm going to say 2-0 to Spurs. Moving on then to Liverpool as they take on Ajax, and boy, do Liverpool need a reaction here after that humiliating 4-1 defeat to Napoli. And even then, just league form hasn't been great at all, has it, really, with Ajax as well, who come into this one in great form, 5-0, 4-0, 4-0 the last 3 games. So it's going to be a really tough one for Liverpool, but Liverpool really need to turn up here, and I think they need a reaction, of course they do, and I think their players will give them one. I think we'll see a Liverpool that's somewhat closer to the best here. I'm going to say 2-0. Chelsea take on Red Bull Salzburg on Champions League on Wednesday, and Graham Potter's first game in charge after, for me, the rather harsh sacking of Thomas Tuchel. This is a really interesting one though, because Chelsea, they need a reaction like Liverpool do, and it'll be interesting to see how much time Graham Potter's had to put his mark on this Chelsea side, but even still against the Red Bull Salzburg team, I still think they should have enough to get the victory here. Moving on then to Man City against Borussia Dortmund, and obviously it's a big game for Erling Haaland, his first game against Borussia Dortmund, only just leaving him recently. I bet he didn't expect a reunion this quickly, but City, even with the 1-1 draw against Villa in their last game of the Premier League, off the back of a 4-0 win against Sevilla last time out, I think in the Champions League, it does seem pretty daunting for their opponents, especially against Dortmund, who's just on the back of a 3-0 loss against Leipzig. Haaland's bound to score. I'm going to say it'll be a 1-0 win to City. Moving on then to a full round of championship fixtures, starting off with Blackburn versus Watford. Blackburn, they're just inconsistent, aren't they, really? 3 losses, 2 wins, in the last few games. And Watford is kind of a similar story, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses. It's just about whatever side you get turning up on the day, really, and that's what makes it kind of hard to predict. For me, I'm going to say Watford will get the win here. I think they'll just have a bit too much for them, 2-1. Moving on then to Huddersfield as they take on Wigan, and this is a big game for both of these sides, really, isn't it? Because both sides kind of struggling a bit at the moment. Wigan less so, coming off the back of 4 points from last year and a really good away win at Luton. But Huddersfield, 4 games without a victory, 3 losses in that period, would be rock bottom really without Coventry. So Huddersfield need a win at home, and I think they will just about edge it. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Hull as they take on Stoke at the Caycom Stadium, and Hull, after a really decent start to the season, have actually lost 2 on the trot now, so they kind of need a break. But Stoke as well, it just hasn't really clicked yet under Alex Neil yet, has it? Lost to Reading last time out. Hull in 12th, Stoke in 20th. Both teams really will be looking forward to move up the table, and it'll be interesting to see how much of an impact more time on the training ground for Neil would have had for him. I can see this being a draw here. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on then to Middlesbrough as they take on Cardiff at the Riverside Stadium. And Middlesbrough, they'll come into this one on the back of maybe a bit more confidence with 2 wins from the last 3. They're slowly climbing the table against Cardiff side who, they haven't had a great start to the season, have they? Sitting in 22nd, ownerless in the last 5, when it looks to be going not too badly at all for Steve Morrison. You definitely back Barra here to get another victory. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Swansea as they take on Sheffield United at the Liberty Stadium. And Swansea, they'll come into this one off the back of a crucial 1-0 win against QPR, and boy, they needed that, because except for that, their form this season has been pretty shocking. But they currently sit in 19th, that's all, against the Sheffield United side on 17 points, who are top of the table. And absolutely flying along. They look great so far this season. One of the last games 4-0 and 2-0. I've got to back Sheffield United here against the Swansea side. It's still struggling, 2-0. Moving on then to the final game on Tuesday, Preston taking on Burnley. And Preston, they'll come into this one off the back of a 1-0 loss against Birmingham. Except for that, they just draw 0-0 or win or lose 1-0, really, and it'll be interesting to see if that trend continues. But yeah, they just need goals, don't they? The defence is tight as anything, but the loss against Birmingham will be really disappointing. Against the Burnley side, it's improving quite a bit at the moment. I can see Burnley just edging it. It can only be 1-0 though. Moving on then to Wednesday's fixtures, and starting off with Luton against Coventry. And yeah, this is a big game for both these sides. Luton were seemingly picking up, but then that 2-1 loss to Wigan last night was really disappointing against the Coventry side, who, yeah, they're just struggling loads at the moment, aren't they? Lost the last 5 on the trot, and it's not looking good for them at all. They need to start picking up points desperately. It just seems like an unhappy camp. But Luton at home, I think I'll back them here. You've got to, you really, don't you? 1-0 to them. Moving on then to Millwall as they take on QPR at the Den. Millwall, I mean, like, they'll come into this one off a 2-0 victory against Cardiff, but except for that, their form really wasn't that great, so hopefully that was a big confidence boosting result for them against the QPR side, who, you know, they are quite inconsistent. Thought they were going well and then lost to Swansea, who've just been terrible so far this season. So yeah, you don't really know what to expect from them, but on the whole, I'm going to say 1-1 here. I think it'll be a close game with not much separated two sides. Moving on then to Norwich as they take on Bristol City at Carrow Road. And yeah, Norwich, I mean, like, they'll come into this one on really good form, 4 league wins on the trot, and yeah, going along really nicely after a bit of a slow start against Bristol City side, who are also doing really well. So yeah, I think both teams are really happy with where they are at the moment, but Norwich at home, I think just looking at their squad as well, they just have a bit more quality, I would say, than Bristol City, which is why I'm going to say a 2-0 win for the hosts. Rotherham take on Blackpool at the New York Stadium, and Rotherham, yeah, they'll come into this one, I think going really well. 3-0 loss to Sunderland would have caused concerns, but drawing with a team like Watford, you know, eased them as well. Blackpool 1-0 win against Huddersfield last time out, but except for that, weren't on the best run of form. But you know, both teams are mid-table. I think they would definitely have taken that at the start of the season. So yeah, going along quite nicely, and I don't think there'll be much separating the two sides. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on then to Reading as they take on Sunderland at the Medeski Stadium, and Reading, yeah, they had that 4-0 loss to Sheffield United, but except for that, going along really, really well under Paul Ince. And currently sits third on the table. No one would have predicted that. But Sunderland, Tony Mowbray now in charge in 8th, going along quite nicely as well. And yeah, kind of like Alex Neil at Stoke, he would have had more time to get his ideas across the training ground with enforced break over the past weekend. But yeah, just Reading going along so nicely as well at home. I think I'm going to go for them 1-0. Moving on then to West Brom as they take on Birmingham. At the Hawthorns in kind of a Birmingham derby. West Brom drawn the last 3, lost before that in the League Cup though, so they need a victory. But Birmingham, I mean, like, that was a crucial win last time out after it really did seem to be going south slightly for them against Preston. So, you know, but they'll come into this one with confidence, but West Brom as well desperately need a win because it's just not going well for Steve Bruce's men at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to say it will be 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion here. I think that'll too much for them. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below, follow to the link for daily football news, and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.